The world is on edge. People are talking about preventing a third world war. The U.S. has promised to support Israel. U.S. officials have stated they also helped defend against Iran's recent attack. Surprisingly, France has also said it is ready to defend the people and government of Israel if they are in danger. Germany is also stating its readiness to defend Israel. The big question is, who will side with Iran? North Korea and Russia are expected to support Iran. Even though China doesn't usually get involved in wars, it's expected to provide strategic military support to Iran. Meanwhile, Pakistan has announced it is ready to use its nuclear weapons. Saudi Arabia and its government institutions are sending messages of clear support for Iran and its people. Well-known Saudi organizations are sending out messages like, "Pray for the people of Iran." This is similar to how American government employees and ambassadors are saying, "Pray for the people of Israel." Pakistan announced its intention to use nuclear weapons to the United Nations. As one of the world's 9 nuclear-armed countries, Pakistan, which is the only Muslim nation with such weapons, told the UN, "If Israel attacks Iran with nuclear weapons, we will hit Israel with our nuclear weapons in return." Pakistan officially has 170 nuclear weapons. Israel, on the other hand, is estimated to have 90, although it repeatedly denies having any nuclear weapons. Pakistan's threat to use its nuclear weapons against Israel came after the U.S. threatened to strike Iran. Pakistan, a close friend of Iran, has said that if Iran cannot defend itself with nuclear weapons, Pakistan's nuclear arsenal will be put to use. Iran and Israel are still in a serious conflict. Israel has hit Tehran's fuel depots. In return, Iran has also struck Israel's fuel depots. Israel claimed to have hit the Iranian Ministry of Defense building. Similarly, Iran claimed to have struck Israel's Ministry of Defense. Iran said it shot down 10 Israeli warplanes, while Israel has continued to kill Iranian officials. The IRGC, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, confirmed that its intelligence chief, Mohammad Kazemi, and his deputy, Hassan Mohak, were killed in an Israeli attack. Additionally, Israel has managed to kill 14 Iranian nuclear scientists so far. The commander of Iran's Air Force, Brigadier General Ali Reza Sabahafard, said they had disabled the warplanes in just a few hours. General Sabahafard explained that Iran's air defense successfully neutralized an Israeli drone, stopping a targeted attack on the capital. He stated the action was a response to Israel's third wave of nighttime attacks. Iran had previously claimed to have shot down an Israeli F-35 fighter jet and captured 2 of its pilots. In just the last day, Israel launched 9 rounds of attacks, while Iran responded with 4. The Israeli military announced it carried out an attack targeting Iran's Ministry of Defense. Iranian officials confirmed that an Israeli missile strike hit their main defense ministry building at night. Iran's overnight missile attack caused significant damage to many Israeli homes. The BBC reported that at least 13 people have died in Israel from the attacks and showed video evidence of heavy destruction in Israeli cities. In particular, footage from Reuters showed many cars burning near an Israeli fuel depot. Many houses in Israel now look as devastated as those in Gaza. People are describing the destruction in Tel Aviv as being like Gaza. The relationship between Israel and Iran is like the famous cartoon, Tom and Jerry, one never rests while the other is awake. They never bow to each other, and if one doesn't attack the other, they can't find peace. They are constantly trying to trap, trick, and wear each other down. For ages, they have been bitter rivals. There are perhaps no 2 countries in the world with a rivalry as deep and intense as that between Iran and Israel, making them symbols of hostility and conflict. Like hyenas circling each other, Iran and Israel are always on guard. Their fate seems destined for war. These 2 nations have moved beyond just poking at each other. They now pull other allied nations into their conflict, creating a dangerous back and forth of threats and counter-threats. They are like fuel circling 2 fires. These countries seek out allies based on political, religious, or regional ties, pulling them into their orbit to make their conflict a proxy war. For instance, Iranian leaders have openly wished for the destruction of their enemy, Israel, and have supported groups that disrupt peace, following the principle, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Israeli politicians, in turn, see Iran as their primary threat and take every opportunity to strike first. Iran, in particular, has maintained its strategy of indirect conflict by supporting various armed groups. Among these are Palestine's Hamas, Lebanon's Hezbollah, and Yemen's Houthi rebels, who all carry out attacks on Israel with Iran's support. It is said that these militant groups receive money, power, and weapons from Iran. Besides their political and military roles in their own regions, their main target is Israel, as their attacks show. The military and political group Hezbollah is waging Iran's largest proxy war against Israel from Lebanon. The support Iran gives to Hamas in Gaza is also considered significant. After Hamas launched a major attack on Israel on September 26 and entered a full-blown war, most Western countries agreed that Iran provides much of the training and firepower for the rockets Hamas has fired from the Gaza Strip for years. The Houthi fighters are another group carrying out Iran's proxy war. Emboldened by this, Israel previously launched a major attack across Iran, which it said targeted Iran's nuclear program. Following that attack, it was reported by Iranian state media that top military officials, including the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Hossein Salami, as well as 14 nuclear scientists, were killed. Furthermore, after Hezbollah entered the war with Israel following its cross-border attacks, the group suffered heavy losses, including its leader and many members. Israel, which blames Iran for being behind every militant group, has carried out repeated attacks inside and outside Iran on its officials and military facilities, especially over the past year. In response, Iran, which never sleeps on Israel, launched a massive missile and drone attack involving over 100 drones, raising fears that the two countries could be drawn into a major war in the Middle East. When powerful nations fight, it's the ordinary people who suffer. The conflict between these countries, beyond just inviting others to join directly or indirectly, leads to oppression, displacement, suffering, and widespread hardship. It's important to realize there is no gain from this beyond hunger and despair. ### military superiority. The International Institute for Strategic Studies, ISS, has been analyzing the military capabilities of Israel and Iran for some time, using various government and publicly available data sources. Additionally, organizations like the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute have also studied the military strength of these nations. According to Nicholas Marsh, a partner at the PRO, Peace Research Institute Oslo, the data from IISS can be used as a starting point to understand the military strength of countries worldwide. The institute states that because Israel spends significantly more on defense than Iran, it has a major advantage in any conflict. According to IISS data for 2022-23, Iran's defense budget was around $7.4 billion, while Israel's was more than double that, at $19 billion. In terms of economy, Israel's GDP is also more than twice that of Iran's. ### technological superiority. IISS publications indicate that Israel has 340 combat-ready military aircraft. Among its fighter jets are long-range F-15s and highly advanced F-35s that can fly undetected by radar. It also has fast attack helicopters. Iran, on the other hand, owns about 320 combat aircraft, including older models from the 1960s like the F-4, F-5, and F-14, according to IISS. Nicholas Marsh from the Oslo Peace Research Institute says it's difficult to know how many of Iran's older planes are actually operational. ### missile defense systems. Israel's Iron Dome and Arrow missile defense systems are considered the backbone of its self-defense. They are well known for their effectiveness in neutralizing attacks from various countries. Uzi Rubin, a missile engineer who founded Israel's Missile Defense Organization and is now a senior researcher at the Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security, told the BBC that he felt a sense of security watching the Iron Dome and its allies intercept the missiles and drones fired by Iran last Saturday. ### long-range combat. Tim Ripley says the chance of Israel engaging in a ground war with Iran is low. Israel's Air Force and advanced long-range weapons give it the upper hand. Therefore, it is more capable of carrying out airstrikes on targets inside Iran. The main goal of these strikes would likely be to kill Iranian officials and destroy fuel facilities. In the past, Israeli airstrikes have killed high-ranking Iranian military and civilian officials. While Israel holds the advantage with the weapons mentioned above, its options for retaliation against Iran-backed militants are complex. One option is to strike their locations in Lebanon and Syria. Another is to use spies for secret missions to carry out unexpected attacks inside Iran, as it has done before. On the other hand, Iran has several advantages that could give it an edge in a war against Israel, including missile attacks, population size, and cyber warfare. #missile attacks. Although Israel is also known for its missile capabilities, Iran has been developing an extensive missile and drone program ever since its 8-year war with its neighbor Iraq, which started in 1980. Through this, Iran has managed to build both short and long-range ballistic missiles, many of which it used in its recent attack on Israel. In 2022, U.S. Central Command General Kenneth McKenzie stated that Iran possesses over 3,000 ballistic missiles. According to the SIZE Missile Defense Project, Israel not only has its own missiles but also sells them to many other countries. Meanwhile, the idea of Israel engaging in a full-scale war, beyond just clashing with proxies, seems unlikely. For example, a recent poll by Israel's Hebrew University showed that 3/4 of Israelis oppose a retaliatory strike on Iran because it would damage security alliances with their allies. #naval power. The IISS states that Iran's navy, which has been around for decades, has 220 vessels, while Israel has about 60. Of course, since Israel and Iran do not share a body of water, the chance of a direct naval conflict is slim. However, the attacks by Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen on Israeli and Western ships in the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea show that the conflict could indeed involve a naval dimension. #cyber warfare. In terms of cyber or internet-based warfare, experts believe Israel would suffer more damage than Iran if they were to attack each other. This is because Iran's cyber attack defense capabilities are relatively low compared to Israel's. Therefore, an electronic attack by Iran on Israel could cause severe damage. #population size. Iran, with a population of over 88 million, is considered a much larger country than Israel, which has a population of about 10 million. This means Iran has a population 9 times larger than Israel's, a fact that cannot be ignored. In addition, Iran has 6 times more active military personnel than Israel. Iran has 600,000 regular soldiers, while Israel has 170,000, according to IISS data. If these countries were to go to war, there are many factors that could determine which one gains the upper hand. However, as the saying goes, when elephants fight, the grass suffers. If the feared war does break out, the possibility of it escalating to include nuclear weapons has heightened the concern. In particular, since Israel is located over 2,100 kilometers from Iran, Iran's main weapon for attacking Israel would likely be missiles. This is why, according to defense analyst Tim Ripley, Iran's missile program is the largest and most diverse in the Middle East.